Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Come into the room. People should be getting their notifications that our LinkedIn Live is on. As you join, please put your comments in the chat. Let me know if you can see me, hear me. Let me know you are in the room. We are definitely excited about this conversation that we're going to have today. This safe space that I really want to create for the Black community in specific, but also have invited all of our allies as well. So come into the room. Let me see those comments and we'll get started in about a few minutes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Reggie. I see you in the comments. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining. Present. Good afternoon. Great. Okay, great. So people are coming in. We definitely want to make sure that we have everyone who were available and wanted to join and just create this safe space for us today. And so we have a lot to talk about today. Definitely thank you for coming out. Thank you for coming out. Yes, thank you for hosting. Yeah, look, we need it, right? We need it right now. There's so much going on. So much going on in the world, right? But also in the United States. And it is dramatically, I feel like affecting the Black community. And we are wrapping up Black History Month. So I wanted to do something specifically for us, by us, right? Where we can just have a space for ourselves. And so I'm definitely glad that you all were able to join. And so if you see, I am representing for the counselors out there, the Black counselors, right? Mental health professionals. If you have not, this is one of Smile's shirts. We have a merch line. You can go to our store. I know we are on this economic blackout today, right? However, make sure that you save that link so that you can purchase tomorrow. Purchase your merch with us. We have all different mental health disciplines, and we also have some regular mental health matters, Black mental health matters for other individuals who want to support mental health and wellness. So a link should be coming into the chat box, and you can utilize that link to go directly to our Shopify store. So we are going to go ahead and get started. And the way we like to start all of our, whether it's a talk, whether it's a workshop, whatever it is, we want to make sure that we put you in a sense of calm as it relates to the space that you're in, right? We like you to be present. And so we always start everything that we do with a mindful moment. And I have one of my therapists who I'm going to bring up now, and she is, I would say, the expert at doing mindful moments. And so I always have her come and join us to do the mindful moment. I'm going to bring her up now, Ms. Javay Evans.
Hi, Christy. Hello, everyone.
Yes, thank you so much for agreeing to just come center us, come get us in the space so we can actually have this conversation. And so I'm going to let her introduce herself in her way. I'm going to jump off, let her just take the reins, and then I'll see you guys back once she's done.
Okay. Happy Black History Month. We are rounding things out. Thank you to our allies that are here also. Um, and I'm Javay Evans. I'm a licensed independent clinical social worker and a certified clinical trauma professional. And today we're just going to go through a mindful moment. So, what I want to invite you to do first is just notice around the room where you are. widening your vision so you can see beyond the tunnel vision that we're normally in on our phones, on our computers, noticing what's over to your right, beyond the screen, and to your left. Looking for those cues of being in the here and now in a safe place. And then I want you to begin to tap down your body. And so if you're standing, you can tap down your arms, your legs. If you're at your desk, just stay seated, down your legs and down your arms, and just kind of feeling the sensation of what it's like to tap and to actually be present in your body, what that feels like, to notice the sensations that you're having. Wonderful. It shouldn't hurt. And then what I want you to do is go ahead and put one hand over your chest, one on your belly, noticing what it feels like to feel supported. Taking a deep breath in slowly through your nose, breathing in, holding that breath, and blowing out candles for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in slowly, filling up your belly, and holding that, and blowing out for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you feel safe enough, you can lower your gaze or close your eyes. And I want you to begin to think. Think of a memory, a person, an animal, something that brings comfort to you. It could even be an object or a character that you don't even know. And for the next few moments, I want you to just notice with all of your senses what it's like to be in front of that person. Notice what you see, perhaps a smile, the tint of their character, whether it's color or texture. Notice how your body feels relaxed and your shoulders are lowering. Notice what they might be doing and what you might be doing in this memory, if it's a memory. What you hear, the sounds that are close by and far off. Notice what you smell, appreciating the scent of the environment. And if you're eating or drinking something special that you can only have with this special person or in this special place, notice it. Savor the texture and the taste. Notice what it's like to be surrounded by this comfort, this sense of joy or peace or content. Notice the weight of your clothing, the temperature, the air, and the texture that's present. Now, as you begin to walk away from this person or pet or memory, know that you can return at any time. Take a deep breath in slowly and go ahead and sigh and release when your body's ready. Okay. Reorient yourself to the here and now, widening your vision, noticing what's in front of you and what you hear in the space, where your feet are, touching the ground, toes wiggling in, and give yourself a hug. Okay. Thank you for joining us for this mindful moment. If you found that hard at any point, it's perfectly normal and natural. There is no expectation. It's just to try and come back as many times as you need to.
Yes, thank you so much, Gervais. Always censors me and puts me in a good space, and I hope it did for everyone else. And Social Work Month starts tomorrow, so happy Social
Hey,
Work Month.
thank you.
Work Month to you and to everyone else out there. Perfect. So thank you, Gervais. And we will see Gervais next time
Yeah.
when she comes and assists us with this mindful moment. And we have someone said that. Thank you. That was great. Thank you, Dr.
Yay.
Paula. Yes. I hope everyone enjoyed it. And so we are going to thank Gervais and we will see her later.
Have a wonderful day.
Yes. So I wanted to make sure that, I can just get you guys in this space where we can really be centered, calm our nervous system, even though it might arise again as we start discussing, but really have a conversation and get into this safe space. And so I'm definitely going to bring up, I do have a slide deck just to kind of keep us on task because I can just go and go and go. But I want to do a check-in. I know some of you are there. How are you feeling? One, how are you feeling maybe earlier today? And if you were able to join that mindful moment, how are you feeling now? So let me see you in the comments. How are you feeling? Let's do a quick check-in. One word. How are you feeling today? It's Friday. We're wrapping up Black History Month, but we also are having this economic blackout day. So how are you feeling? Are you participating? What's going on in your world? Let me hear it as I'm bringing up these slides. Well, let me see it right in the comments. Let's see it in the comments. As I bring it up, and hopefully everyone comments come up. I see hopeful. Yes. And actually is, one of the words we have today that we're going to be discussing, hope. And then, just our need to remain hopeful with everything that's going on. Thank you for that. Anyone else? Let me see you in the chat. How are we feeling? How are we doing? Grateful. Dr. Paula, yes, thank you. Gratitude is so important, especially during these times. And so we have to make sure that even though there's so much going on and a lot of things that may not be going our way, we have to say, what are we actually grateful for? Makita said the same thing. Thank you. She said grateful as well. We have to say, really increase our gratitude. Because that is going to help us to stay in a positive space, even though we may be dealing with a lot of trials and tribulations. So thank you for that. Because you can continue putting that in the chat. Just wanted to do a quick check-in on how's everyone feeling, how are we doing? And today we're going to be discussing the state of the Black community, but really looking at how can we increase our resilience or just utilize resiliency. Definitely looking at some of the challenges that we're facing and then making sure that we just kind of hang on to hope, right? Because that's all we have at some point. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it, right? I just say let's just throw it out there. We're gonna just, the elephant in the room, everything that is going on right now with this new administration. I don't know if you're like me, I feel like, is this real? Are we really, is this really happening in the United States? And so let me see, you in the comments, just what is coming up for you as all of these things are unfolding. And then I'm just going to talk through some of the things. We know there has been several executive orders, several. And so, but the one I really want to highlight is this, I want to say fixation, right? On DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I feel like, they're so fixated on it. One, we're going to be real honest. I like to be very transparent, right? I don't really talk about politics in my posts, even though I may have a lot to say, just because it's very charging. But let's be very clear and honest. The reason they are, I want to say, attacking, right, DEI, and it has started even before he took the office, is because they feel as though DEI is centered around Black people, right? We're gonna be real honest and transparent. They feel like we are the only people that actually benefit from diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that could be further from the truth. And we know that, right? We understand that, but they didn't understand that. And so, that has been one thing. And even though we may not benefit as much as others, it's still going to dramatically impact us, right? How now he is cutting contracts in the federal space. Not now. I mean, he's cutting them. Unfortunately, I've had several colleagues who have lost contracts because of wording, because of kind of what the contract was around, losing millions of dollars in an instant. That is a direct impact on us. And to say that people got positions or what have you just because of DEI is just so one is not true, right? It's just so untrue. We know, and we have been taught since we were younger that we have to work twice as hard as everyone else. We know that, and that's what we've been doing, right? In the statistics show. So that's not even something that could be argued with. But these executive orders are definitely impacting us. And then what type of impact does it have in the workplace? So they're not just pressuring or affecting federal, they are pressuring these corporations. And these corporations are folding like some folding chairs, okay? Where they are rolling back on, their commitments and changing up, kind of now what they're calling, if it was a diversity suppliers program, right? Just changing some of the wording. But ultimately, we know where this is going to lead us. And it's literally going to lead us back to the different discrimination within the hiring practices of why we had to put these things out in the first place, right? So it's a direct impact on the Black community in specific. And then they're also like getting rid of different employee resource groups at these large corporations. Well, we know that many individuals that are in corporate America, these spaces are sacred for them. This is their way to be in community with other people, like-minded people, where they can let their hair down, but they don't have to pretend or they don't have to put on this face. They can show up as their authentic selves. And because of all of these different challenges and targets against DEI, they're cutting some of them, which will directly impact the Black community. And then the education sector. So we saw what happened, last year when all these different things was in the court, and them trying to kind of ban the different programs that has to do with race in any way, which is crazy, right? Because even though a lot of these schools may have these programs, they still are behind the ball with where they need to be with their practices on enrolling Black students. And so all of these different things are transpiring and all kind of affecting where we are today. And so it was a comment that just was put in. And as someone said earlier, it really feels like a movie, but there's nobody yelling cut. Hold on, let's show that one. That's a good one. Right? I absolutely agree. No one's yelling cut. And we feel like, it's like we're on this roller coaster and no one is coming and saying our time is up, right? And letting us off. And then we have this, thank you for this. DEI is pivoting from that specific term to the broad aspect of diversity in the form of socioeconomic small business categories, i.e. with DEI and WOSB. So that's women-owned small business for those who don't know, 8A. VOSB is veteran-owned small business, etc., are being affected. So speaking from a non-hiring perspective, more on the gov small business federal contract perspective. Thank you for that. And yes, what they are doing is directly impacting us, meaning small businesses, right? And you know that many Black-owned businesses may be in that small business categories, but it's directly impacting us to the point where now we are looking at, well, how do we describe ourselves? I just had a meeting with some of my both sisters, and we're really looking at how do we pivot and how do we still remain successful in this climate. And so now it's about scrubbing your website, right? And you don't even want to say you have diversity or Black owned or this or that, out of fear that even if you are qualified for a contract, if someone looks at your website and it says anything about diversity, they will, choose to not go with you for that contract. And it's very disheartening, right? And even though it's like, well, if you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, it's like you got to survive. So you have to do what you have to do. But literally going and scrubbing your website and removing all of the Black owned or women owned or whatever, it's kind of like, wow, we're here, right? This is where we are. So, and all of this really does impact your mental health. I know I've been stressed just hearing about stuff. So I have had to limit my time within social media. But, let me know how this resonated, just the different things that has been impacting us. And I'm like, it's only 1 month and 8 days. And they have literally turned us upside down. Reggie said, that's what I'm talking about. Now you have to hide who you are as a small business, and you do. And it's so unfortunate that we really have to, and I literally just did it last week. After we had our call, I was like, let me go on my website and let me now change up some of this verbiage where it once was a unique factor for us, right? Now, it will cause us not to get a contract or not to get work. And it's so unfortunate that we're here and that other people can't see what's actually happening. We know what it is. We know where they're trying to take us back to, and we are definitely not going to allow that to happen, but we all have to make sure that we are staying in community, and doing something about it. So I hope we all are acknowledging this economic blackout, because remember, they don't move unless it hit their pockets, right? Let's be clear. And so we need to hit the pockets of all of these corporations who are not for the Black and brown community. It is what it is, right? We shouldn't spend our dollars where we're not wanted. So that's that. That's on that. And so now I'll just get to kind of this, the mental health impact, right? And I really want us to take inventory. Gervais did the mindful moment. But within that, she allowed you space to say, let me check in with myself, right? We need to check in with ourselves. How are you doing? How is this impacting your mental health? I just noticed myself being super stressed and getting super frustrated, being super upset every time I am like reading about another change that has happened. I'm here, I'm seeing a video. I'm just like probably at 100. And so I say, you know what, Chrissy, get off the social media. I don't look at news now, but I make sure it doesn't come on if I'm looking at another channel. So I want us to really do an inventory, self-inventory, right? Of how this is impacting us. And so we are going to see heightened stress, heightened anxiety, right? So many people, and I'll just take a moment because I meant to do this in the beginning. I want to say that we are praying for our federal employees. We are praying for all of the federal employees who have been dismissed unlawfully from their jobs. We are definitely with you and want to support you. And, I really feel like, what is it that we can do? Because there's no way that this should be able to be taking place, right? These are real people, real families, real bills, a real life. And it's like all of that was snatched from underneath them. And it's not fair at all. Yes, thank you, Reggie. It's not fair at all to them. And so let's make sure that we just be in support with them and for them, just throughout this time, because they are literally in a psychological warfare, whether they have been dismissed from their positions or whether they are still there. So I'm definitely praying for them, and I hope that we can be able to support them sometime soon. So I want to make sure that I say that. So any federal workers, I know Reggie was just on, he just had to hop off, but any other federal workers, please know that we are, praying for you and praying that you will be sustained during this time. So going back to kind of where we are with our mental health. And so, like I was saying, heightened stress, heightened anxiety, but think about just trauma. This is compounded trauma, right? And especially for those Black people who may have just lost their jobs. And us just hearing about it, seeing it on TV, all of those things are compounded trauma that is negatively impacting us. Okay. And then collectively as a community, it's like we're always in this this tussle with people, not even with people, we know who is with white males, defending just our basic rights and dignity. And that takes a toll on you, right? For you always have to defend kind of that you are a human being and you should have the same rights as everyone else. And it's like, oh my God, we're still here. It's 2025. It's like they're never going to let up with trying to make us feel like we are less than, right? And so that takes a toll on you. And so I want to get into this idea of psychological resilience and being in community and how that will strengthen us. And so really having our strong social networks, that is exactly what we need at this time. We need to be in community with each other. That's one reason why I am really trying to just put some safe spaces out there for the community. We need spaces where we can be in community, where, we have like-minded, where we can just be there to support each other. And so those community bonds are so important, right? But then just bonding through culture. And so, I have here, just our different cultural practices. which includes music. As a community, we love music, and music really helps to improve our mental health. Art, storytelling, all of those different things have been used to process trauma as well. And it also helps us to maintain our mental well-being. So how many of you, if you're stressed out or whatever, you really go to music, whatever genre you like to listen to, you kind of can go to your music and get yourself in a better space. I love gospel, so I'm like, take me to the Lord. I mean, just, have the Lord speak to me. I need it, at this moment. So I throw some music on. But all of these things is to help us to maintain. And then our spiritual support. So whether you have a denomination that you practice or you're just spiritual, those things make a difference. And all of these things helps with our resiliency, so that we can continue to just literally get up every day and continue the fight. I feel like just continue this fight that we've been in for hundreds of years at this point. And so all these things help contribute to our resilience. And then I really want to just discuss quickly some ways to enhance our self-care. And I'm going to focus on the 8 dimension of wellness. And so if you have not picked up my copy of, or my book, The Refreshing Smile, a transformative self-care workbook, and you are really struggling with your mental health and wellness, make sure you get the book. You can now purchase it on Lulu. So if you are doing this boycott with Amazon, we have it in another space. So we'll definitely put the link in the chat. And you will be able to really deep dive into these 8 dimensions of wellness inside of the book. But I'm just going to go over them quickly. But when we think about self-care, because that word is thrown around a lot, right? I want you to think about that self-care is just not one-dimensional. You really have to look at, how do you take care of your entire being, right? So not just going to get a massage, not just going to get my hair and nails done, not even just, trying to rest for the day. It is even more than that. So here are different areas. You have your physical wellness, which that part, exercise, nutrition, sleep, and preventative health care. What a lot of people don't realize is with our physical wellness, that also includes taking care of your medical care. So have you did all of your preventative appointments? Have you put them all on the calendar? Not just a regular doctor and get your checkup. Have you put your vision appointments on a calendar? Have you put your hearing appointments on a calendar? We need to be checking all of those different things. Okay. So that's physical. And then you have social wellness. So that's these relationships. Are we staying in community with one another? When we are really stressed and having so many different challenges, we tend to retreat and say, you know what, I just want to, be by myself. But we really need community during this time. So how well are you staying connected with your connections? Intellectual wellness. Are we stimulating our mind? Are we learning something new? Are we doing a creative activity? I actually just started back playing solitaire. And I used to love solitaire. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was on a workout machine, and they had it as one of the apps. And I said, oh my goodness, why have I not been playing solitaire? Like, I haven't played this in years and years. And I just started back playing it. But different things like that, just kind of continuing to keep your mind sharp is so important. And then environmental wellness. And so when you hear environmental, many people mainly just think about going outside, right? Nature. But nature is not the only piece of environmental. You also have your physical space. So how is your office? Right. And I am definitely well, it's a little clean today, but I'm a junky person, right? But I'm like, you know what? I need to declutter. And so have we decluttered for the year? Have we cleaned our closet, right? How's your bedroom look? How's your bed look? And so all of those things really play a part in our mental health and wellness. And then we have emotional wellness. And so that is, how well are you taking care of your emotional state? When you're stressed, what do you do? Are you doing different things? So let's make sure we do that. And then spiritual wellness. What is your sense of value? So people hear spiritual and they automatically think religion, but it's more than religion. It's about, what are my values and morals? Like, why am I here? What is my sense of purpose? This is what you have to focus on. Do you think about that, right? What is your purpose? What's your purpose in life? What's your purpose, within your friend network? What's your purpose within your family network? We should be thinking about that and really focused on how to connect with something higher than ourselves, especially to help us to keep going. Okay. And then we have occupational wellness. Do your talents line up with what you're actually doing for work? Maybe, maybe not. How satisfied are you in your workplace or with the work that you're doing? Those things are important as well with occupational wellness. And then financial wellness, right? And want to put a tag here. With everything that is going on, we need to be financially disciplined. And so I'm really glad that we have decided to do this economic blackout, but we need to have our own personal economic blackout. So we are not spending money, we are saving our money, because we don't know how bad the economy is about to get, right? Honestly, I feel like they're trying to create an economic crisis. I really feel like that, right? Because with the economic crisis, billionaires will continue to make money, and us people, poor people, our money will diminish. So let's make sure we are really being financially disciplined when it comes to our finances. And so all of these different areas we need to be focused on when we talk about self-care. And so if you grab the book, you'll be able to take inventory and do an assessment, And I'll put the link in the chat later. So come back for it. But I also have a self-care assessment link where you can actually take an assessment and see how well you're actually doing. So I'll make sure to have that link as well. So then I just wanted to talk about some mental health resources. What are some resources? What are some strategies? Make sure that we're connecting with therapists, and not just any therapists, like therapists of color, Black therapists, or therapists that really focus on the Black community. Make sure that they are able to provide culturally sensitive therapy, really trained in that racial trauma, intergenerational healing. And so you have places like Therapy for Black Girls or Therapy for Black Men. You can definitely go on those sites to find you someone. And then engaging with different community programs. And we talked about that before, but community programs that focus on mental health and wellness, or groups or wellness circles. And so we actually are in the process of creating our mental health app, our wellness app, Refreshing Smile Wellness app, which we're super excited about, where we will be providing you different types of on-demand wellness videos, wellness resources. But then we're going to have a community with that, because what we are finding is that, where do you go when you are stressed? What community do you go to? You can go to church, right? But where can you go where you just can talk about mental health and wellness? And so I'll have a a link at the end for the form to fill out for you to get on the listserv so you can be the first to get that information and to sign up for that community. But making sure you are in community with like-minded individuals who can help you through all of these different things. That's important as well. And then we move to allyship. So this is for the allies that may be in the room. If you are in the room, thank you for being in the room. We really appreciate it. Just for you to get additional information about how we are doing, how we are managing. And so true allyship is action, right? It's not just words. And so I have a couple of tips here. Listen and learn. So actively listening to Black voices and experiences to increase understanding and reduce misconceptions. I think people don't realize, and when we do train this like unconscious bias, is because it actually is, people have it, right? We're not doing these different diversity trainings for our health. We're doing it because they need it. The workplace needs it, right? Unfortunately, because of how America was created, everyone, and I mean everyone, not just white people, right? Even some other minority groups, they have their own misconceptions about Black people, right? And they bring their own biases, even other Black people. Bring their own biases. And so how can you really make sure that you're minimizing those biases and you're really hearing from the Black community, right? So listen and learn. And then advocate for change. Support racial equity policies and speak up against harmful actions affecting the Black community. Well, that's why I have Miss Rachel Maddow here. And I'll applaud her and her support of Joy Reid, but the Black community, right? Because she went on her show and she advocated for her Black colleagues. She spoke about her disdain with MSNBC, with literally, people see what's happening, right? But not too many people are going to speak up. And MSNBC have literally cut, if not every Black anchor show, almost all of them, almost all of the Black anchor shows. And so she saw that. And, during her show, she made mention of this. And for me, that's super bold, right? Because she then put herself in a position to also have a target on her back, right? And then I just read yesterday that she did lose most of her production crew. However, she didn't lose all of them, but she did lose a good number of her production crew. And she have a few left. But kudos to her for being a true ally, right? Not just sitting back, seeing what they were doing to her Black colleagues. She saw this, and other anchors and different people that work there, they're saying it too, but not everyone is choosing to speak out. So if you are a true ally, you utilize your voice and your position to really advocate for change, right? That's how you be a true ally. And then support Black businesses. Invest in Black businesses, invest in community initiatives, right? You see, and this is really for all of us, right? For allies, but for us all. If you see your colleague or see, your family member or whoever it is, and they have a business and, they're selling something, or even if they're a service business, your support can be reposting their social media posts, right? It can be elevating their voice. sending their information to someone you know who may need it, purchasing something from them. We have to make sure that, we're not getting in this space where we talk about wanting to support Black businesses, but then we're not action. There's no action behind it, right? Black businesses need tangible action, right? Because for a small business owner, the percentage of individuals whose business lasts past 3 years is a low percentage. Well, that number is even lower for Black businesses, right? And let's talk about Black women-owned businesses. So usually our average revenue for Black women-owned businesses is $24,000 compared to let's just say compared to white women when their average is over $100,000, right? So imagine what we, and I say we because I'm in there, right? I'm in that Black women-owned business. Imagine what we have to go through to sustain our businesses. We're less likely to get lines of credits, right? The banks are still very much discriminatory against Black business owners. And so support Black businesses. And so even though we're on an economic blackout today, what I am going to do is I am going to spend my money at a local Black-owned small business today. So that is how I am going to support and spend my dollars. So definitely give me your thoughts in the chat. Any other things that you feel like allies can do, or any other things that we can do as a community to support ourselves in this moment, especially as it relates to maintaining our mental health and wellness. Definitely want to see you in the chat, and I'll give you guys a few minutes for that as I go to the next slide. Our call to action slide. Call to action, right? It's time for us all to act because everything that's going on is impacting us. All right, so I see something that just came through. Hi, Alexia. It's one of my therapists here. Alexia says, and Black-owned businesses don't get the opportunity to scale and grow like white-owned businesses. Exactly. Exactly, right? And when we do scale, we are fighting tooth and nail to stay there. Okay? Ask me how I know. We're fighting tooth and nail. And honestly, most of the time, the services, the products that we have is twice as good as our counterparts, right? And I'm gonna leave that there. And it's unfortunate that our counterparts can be mediocre and still succeed at the highest level, right? Clearly, we're seeing that right now. They could be less than mediocre at this point and still succeed. Why? Just because of the color of their skin. And it's so frustrating, disappointing that we're still in this space here in the United States. But it's kind of like, we're used to that, right? It's unfortunate, but we are used to it. And so Alexia says, imagine the additional stress and anxiety an owner of a Black business carries for that reason. Yes. If you are a Black business owner, we're super stressed right now. A lot of us, right? Many people may still be doing well, but a lot of us are still stressed, super stressed, because we know that we're going to be the first persons impacted by all these different changes that's coming down from the White House. We know that. We're very well aware. She said, listen, 3 times as good because of our lived experiences. Exactly. Exactly. As a community, we have been resilient, right? Look where our ancestors came from. My grandfather is 80 something years old. He talks to me about, you know, his experiences with racism, with where they were. And I really can't even imagine, right? And I know where we are right now, but I just can't imagine what they experienced back in the day and how they still overcame that and they still became successful. I mean, I guess if I wasn't Black, I'd probably hate us too. But um, it's still so much of an emotional toll that we have to go through. And that's the point of us being here today. And so, call to action. Let's build a collective healing. Let's really promote some open dialogue, have some open conversations about how we are being impacted by the political change. Let's invest in resources. Get a therapist. Get a therapist. I'm going to say it one more time. Get a therapist. It is nothing wrong with going to therapy. I am a therapist, but I have my own therapist because it's just no way I can manage all of these things without one. So make sure you find one. If you need help, another resource is psychologytoday.com. Go on there. You can filter by your insurance. You can filter by the ethnicity of the therapist, location. You can filter by a lot of things. So you can utilize psychologytoday.com. Smile is on there as well. Then a plug, you're in the DC area, reach out to us if you have private insurance, because we're looking for new clients in our outpatient therapy setting. But invest in our resources. Join an uplifting community that really positively enhances your mental health. And so make sure when I put the QR code and the link in the chat, that you complete our form for today to get your name on our listserv so you can be the first to know about our mental health community that we're creating. And then foster empathy, right? This is for all of us. Empathy really helps to cultivate understanding and compassion. And we need that across all racial lines. People are dealing with a lot. They're managing a lot. And so let's be empathetic to that, right? Let's be kind. Kindness costs you nothing. Let's show kindness to each other. It's so, so important. So important. And so now I want to just kind of open it up. If you guys have any additional thoughts, thank you for those who have been in the chat. Any additional comments, any additional questions that you want to just kind of share today, please put in the comments, and I'll give a few minutes because I think you guys are a little behind. LinkedIn is always a little behind. So give us a few minutes to add our comments, any questions, any last minute thoughts. This is the space for us. I want to just to be the space for what you need. So if anything you want to get off your chest, I feel like it's so much going on. It's like, what in the world? Where do we even begin? Where do we even begin? And now we have these planes that are just like, we've never had this many plane crashes. So I really want us to be safe, be safe in everything that we're doing. I'll definitely be praying for you guys. If you believe in, Jesus Christ, like I do, look, pray, continue to pray and pray some more. Okay. Pray. All right. Let me know if you guys have anything else in the chat. I am watching. Scan the QR code. We will also put the link in the chat. It's just a quick form just to let me know how you like the live today, but also to let me know if you want to get on our listserv to get the information about our wellness community that we are going to be having. And so we're actually going to have one community for kind of the greater good. And then we also are creating a community specifically for entrepreneurs, specifically. And so, I know that we need it. So much going on. We're struggling with our mental health. And I want to make sure that we are just supporting each other. Make sure you follow us. Follow us on LinkedIn. Also follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Facebook, on Instagram at Smile Therapy LLC. Follow us at all of these different places. And let me know if you have anything else. I'll give us a few more minutes just in case anyone wants to make any other comments. Or have any other questions. I hope this was helpful for you. We have so much going on, and I just wanted to create a space for us where we can share. And Alexia says, hold on. I also think it's important to connect to people we trust. Don't lose your vulnerability and empathy in the midst of the craziness. Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, yes, and yes. So connect with people that love you. Connect with people who you trust. That's a great, thank you for that word. And that's so important, right? We want to make sure that we are not being in community with people that are going to stress us out even more. Don't stress us out even more, right? Don't be around that group or that person that just drains your energy, right? It's okay to put your boundaries in place. And no is a complete sentence. And don't feel guilty about it. As you take action, rest and rejuvenate. Rest and rejuvenate. And so what we've also found that people do not know how to rest. Our brains aren't rested. Our minds aren't resting. And so you have to make sure you have a wind down routine so that you can rest your mind. Okay. Thank you. Vulnerability and empathy creates community. Yes. Thank you so much for all of those great tips. And so we are wrapping up, but please stay connected with me. Next month, we will be discussing, I'll probably talk about, it's Women's Health Month, it's Social Work Month, it's some other things. I think it's also Self-Harm Awareness Month. And so we'll definitely be having a LinkedIn Live next month as well, probably focused around women in some way. So make sure that you stay connected with me. This live will be available for replay. So send it to someone that needs to see it. And just make sure that you guys are taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health. Rest this weekend. Actually rest. Give yourself the space to rest. Don't feel like you have to do everything for everyone, even though I have a lot to do tomorrow for everyone else. But take your time. Take the time that you need. And let me know if you need any support in the mental health and wellness space. I am definitely open to helping. And so we are out until next time. I will see you. If you are, work with an organization and you would like some wellness workshops for your staff, it's so much going on. Either reach out to me through DM, or you can also fill out that form. It's a question on there about whether or not, if you need some wellness workshops and trainings at your workplace, whether it's for your leaders, whether it's for your entire staff. Reach out to us so that we can support your staff during this time. Thank you to everyone who joined. I really appreciate you all. I hope this was helpful for you, and I will see you soon. So I look forward to continuing to connect with people, and let's just make it a great weekend and a great day of not spending our money in these places where they don't appreciate us. Okay. So spend your money well today. Be safe, and I'll see you guys soon.